All right, hey guys, it's Audrey and Vera, and here we are kicking off season 2 of our Permission to Hustle podcast. Are you ready for season 2?
I am so ready.
We are standing here just ready to rock and roll this season. You know, the first season we loved it because we had never done a podcast before. We've always wanted to do one. And what we love so much about the podcast are that, you know, we can record them. We don't even have to be together when we can record them, which is great because Vera's in New York, I'm in Rhode Island. But one of the best things is that they can be listened to at any time. And for us, that's something that's just really important to us. Like, we can create content through a podcast, we can pop it out there, and the best thing is it doesn't matter when you listen to the podcast, it's just there. You can listen to it, you can use the advice, you can be inspired or motivated by it. You don't have to watch it live. And for us, that's just like truly the beauty of podcasting. So we're ready to kick this season off.
And today we're going to start with talking about goals, how to set the right goals for your business, because in order to have a successful business, you really have to know how to break down your tasks, how to know what it is that you're going, you know, how to know what it is that you're trying to achieve, and how to be honest with yourself about whether or not you can, if you're reaching too high or if you're not reaching high enough. That's really what it boils down to. And so today we're really going to talk a little bit about what we do when we sort of sit down together. We do this about once a quarter, I would say, and we sort of reassess what it is that we want to do with our business. And how do we break down our goals? How do we come up with long-term and short-term strategies? And then how do we turn that into action plans?
So the first thing that we always do, because this is really important, regardless of what your business is, and I know that Vera and I always say this, but since it is season 2 and we're kicking off, you know, we give examples of what we do for a living. We're digital influencers, we're bloggers, we're content creators on social media. So that's our business. You know, we don't have a brick and mortar store. We don't have a sales team. You know, this is what we do. So what we want to do is share our advice and our tips. And when we give examples, it is what we do. But we want you and encourage you to use the advice and really cater it towards your own business. So, you know, the first thing we always do when we're setting the right goals for our business is we're honest with ourselves. We genuinely know what it is we can handle and what we cannot handle. We know that, listen, we can definitely create this much content every week. We know we can definitely handle, you know, maybe this amount of money this week. So when it comes down to, you know, be honest with yourself. Sit down. You know what you can handle. You know what you can't handle. You know what you can afford. You know what you can't afford. So when you're sitting down to really stop and think about your business and just being honest with yourself, that is really important to do. You need to make sure that when you're creating your goals, they're goals that you definitely can handle. You know, listen, we all want to be maybe millionaires, right, through our business. Like, you all want to make money when we're doing our business. But be honest with yourself. Is that something that you can really make happen in 6 months? You know, you really have to just sit down and be honest with your goals so you're on the right path for your business. That's what you need to do.
I think the other thing that's really important is to make your goals bite-sized. So it's really great to say, you know, I want to make 6 figures this year. If that's a goal of yours, I think that's a great goal. It's a great long-term goal. I mean, definitely it's something that a lot of my friends, when we're talking over coffee, that's something that I hear quite often. But in order to do something like that, I want to make 6 figures this year on blogging, for example. You have to break that down into much smaller terms. You have to make your long-term goal, your larger scale goal, you have to make smaller, more bite-sized action items that you can sort of address. So a dream is great, sort of an aspirational, like, big sort of achievement thing that you want to hit. Yes, you should definitely reach for the stars, but how are you going to get there? What are the steps to get there? And so you need to have smaller, weekly, almost daily steps that you need to take. And, you know, what Audrey and I love to do is, you know, we grab a pen and a paper, a notebook. We always have like a notebook or a planner with us. And then we really break it down into like almost micromanaging ourselves, I would say. And we say, okay, so we're doing this 6-month long-term goal, but now I want to break that down into monthly, weekly, and then daily goals, because that's going to give me, like, every day I wake up and I know exactly what I'm going to do in order to push me forward to reach whatever it is that I want to reach. So if my goal is to maybe try to get more beauty campaigns, for example, then maybe my bite-sized goals would be, I would have to reach out to 3 different beauty brands a day. Mm-hmm. That's my smaller termed goal. And that's something that I can do. I have control over that. Reach out to 3 new beauty contacts a day, or tag 2 beauty brands a day on IG stories, or look up beauty hashtags once a day that I could incorporate into my feed. These are things that I could hit every single day. I can hold myself accountable to these things. Those are the bite-sized terms that I'm talking about.
And then jumping off of exactly what Vera is saying, to know your short-term and your long-term goals is one of the most important things that you can really do for your business. And you really just want to know the big picture. One thing that Vera and I always do is we always have the big picture in view. And for us, we always joke about it, but, we actually are serious. I remember we always used to want to be Hoda and Kathy Lee. That was like our big picture. Like, listen, this is what we love to do. We love to create video content together. Realistically, we know we don't live in New York City, at least not the two of us. So we knew that, listen, we probably can't make that necessarily happen easily. But what we can do is we can look at the big picture, and we can take steps to get to that kind of big picture with what we do. So we do videos together. We create a digital show together. So we always just know the big picture, and then we genuinely map out a roadmap as to how we can get the best version of that big picture possible. You have to be realistic in terms of knowing, listen, I can't move my entire family to Los Angeles, nor can Vera. Would that be a pie in the sky dream? 100%. But we're realistic. We genuinely need to concentrate always on a big picture for your business. Have that pie in the sky. It's important to have that pie in the sky dream. It's important to know where you love your business to go. Do you want to sell your business to a major company in 5 years? Well, if that's your goal, that's amazing. So your big picture. So now, again, we've been talking about, look at all the examples and advice we give you. Be honest with yourself how you can get there. Take bite-sized bits as to how each year you can get closer to that big picture. And then, we've been talking about, you have to have your short-term and your long-term goals. For Vera and I, we support our families. So as much as we have all these really great long-term goals, the short-term goal in the moment for us is that we have to pay our bills.
Right.
So we know that we have to have business ideas and pitches that are constantly going to go out, and proposals that are going to give us money in the meantime as we're getting towards our bigger long-term goal.
And, while we say all the time, make the goals realistic. So, we tell everybody we want to be Kathy and Hoda. That
100% we do.
We're not kidding. So, we say it in jest, but then deep down in our hearts, if the Today Show came
I'm Hoda, you're Kathy Lee.
If it happened, we would take it with open arms. But the truth is, that's probably, and I say probably not going to happen, but that's probably not going to happen. So the more realistic goal that we hold is, we would love a digital show.
Yes.
So, yes, the Today Show is the pie in the sky. Wouldn't it be great if we won the lotto?
Yeah.
And, the 0.0000001% chance in the reality of the universe that would ever happen. It's never going to happen. But, we'll still hold on to that dream, right? Because everybody has to have a dream. We're not saying for you guys not to have the big dream. Yes, I would love to have 6 figures, but those same people also dream, I would love to have 7 figures. You still have to have the big dream. So we're not saying not to have the big dream, but also be realistic. So yes, I would love to have be host of the Today Show, but the more realistic dream is, I would love to host my own digital show on fashion or travel or entertaining. So sort of be mindful of dreaming, but then also be realistic when it comes to the real realities of life. So we don't want you to let go of, we're not telling you to shed all hope. Still hold on to those things that you wish for, but also be realistic in the same vein. And then I guess last but not least is the thing that we love to do most is reverse engineering. So, let's play along with the digital show, since I just said it. If Audrey and I really were gunning for a digital show, that's really what we wanted. This is the real deal. in this year, in the next 12 months, we want a digital show. What we should do is we should every single day create on our own terms a digital show that went live the same hour on the same day on all platforms, and really showed our video skills, our video editing skills, how great we are hosting, and that should be our top priority. We would let go of Instagram, photography. Everything would become video for us. It would be video 100% of the way, because that's the skill that we would want to show, right? I mean, it would just be video. If we were so serious about having a digital show, that would be the platform and the angle that we would then focus on. And so you would reverse engineer your dreams as well. So if you wanted to have your own hand greeting card line, then everything that you did would sort of have to reverse engineer from that, and you would then focus on DIY. You would focus on showcasing your stuff in small events in your local town. You would try to get your stuff in mom and pop shops. You would start an online store. I mean, you could see how I'm going sort of backwards from the big dream and seeing what I need to do, the small steps I need to do to get back to that big picture.
Yeah.
So it's really all about what your end game is.
So this is what we want you guys to do, okay? Because one thing that we really want to do with our podcast now is when you leave this podcast, we want you to have some takeaways that now you can go do and hopefully create whatever it is that we're talking about or work on it. So we want you to grab a notebook. We want you to grab a pen. We want you to give yourself the gift of 30 minutes or an hour. Listen, we have 8 kids between the two of us. We 1000% know how difficult it is to get time alone without any distractions. But, maybe you talk to your spouse, do it when the kids are at school. Plan ahead if you have to, and time block out that time for yourself to sit down and truly just get goals for your business. Just tune everything out, get all the distractions away, and maybe you got to go to a coffee shop to get that done. Maybe you have to have earbuds in your ears. Whatever you have to do that for yourself. That's very important to make sure you do. And a lot of the times when we're talking about goals for your business, one of the most, common things that people ask us is, I don't even know where to start. Like, what do you mean goals? Like, I have no idea. I see everybody else doing great things. I have no idea what I would do for myself. So maybe for that hour, you sit down and you look at people that are just knocking it out of the park, doing amazing things. There's no point reinventing the wheel. If you see somebody doing something that's awesome, maybe it's an approach to a Facebook Live. Maybe it's a giveaway set up on YouTube. Whatever it is, maybe it's a really cool, event that they're hosting in their local store, and you're like, that'd be great. I should do that for moms. Look at what other people are doing and maybe start hashing that out as some of your goals too. Like, I love how this person approaches Instagram for their business. They're highlighting a different, product in their store every single day. Maybe someone's doing some really awesome unboxing videos for a company, and you're like, that's a great idea, and I should do that for this brand or this company, or bring this into my business. So sit down and do that, but give yourself the time to do that. Vera and I legitimately go off the grid, usually like 2 days. We meet in the morning, and then we always spend the night somewhere. We spend the next afternoon working too. We have to go off the grid. We cannot do it over the phone with each other. We cannot do it via Skype with each other. We actually need to be in person with nobody else around, no husbands, no kids, nothing, and just sit down, hunker down, and just get done what we have to get done.
So thank you so much for listening to today's conversation about goals. We have plenty, we have so much in store for season 2.
I'm excited.
I am too. There's really a lot. Speaking of bunkering down, we just spent 2 days together, planning out the next quarter ourselves, and we love to do that. We encourage you to do the same. But we have a lot coming up for the podcast. We have a lot coming up for the blog.
Yeah.
We have a lot coming up for the Facebook group, and then personally, we have a lot coming up for ourselves, like for our team, for our joint partnership, like for Audrey and Vera as best friends and partners. Like, we just have so much coming up together, and it all helps when you know the goals, when you know what it is that you want to do. It just makes it so much easier when you have it all on paper. So,
and I hate to jump in here, but I have to jump in and say this, exactly what Vera just said. Everybody looks at us and says, oh my God, you guys have been doing this for so long, like almost literally 12 years at this point now. And what, they think that, we kind of have this down seamlessly. And here's the thing, we always get together. We always have new goals. We always have new strategies. Like you have to, in our business, you constantly have to keep it fresh. You can't do the same thing over and over and over again. So for the two people like us who have run the same business individually and together for so long, this for us is truly the secret to our sauce, is sitting down and coming up with goals for our business and making them different, or taking something and putting a new spin on it, or bringing other people in and collaborating in a different way. So just so you know, we're constantly always doing this. So for us, this has just always worked.
Yeah. So thanks so much. You can find us online at Permission to Hustle. That's on Instagram and on Facebook. We would love for you to join our community if you haven't done so already. And stay tuned for more podcast episodes that we have. We're coming out with them about once a week.
Yeah.
So just check back often, and we'll see you soon.